Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a ranking tier list video. Either it was a channel member or somebody in my comments requested that I do a video ranking/rating all the championships. So I'm going to be ranking the championships today. I thought that this was a fun idea, so if it's already been done before, whatever, but here's my take on this video. All right, here is my tier list. I have a little picture for each championship, and how I'm going to be rating these championships is on a very official rating scale, of course, because all of my rating videos are very organized and completely perfected rating systems. Professional, just kidding. Okay, so we're going to be rating these championships based on the amenities. What kinds of things do these champs have in the area? Scenery. Is it pretty? Is it a pretty champ? Is it ugly? That's what we want to know. Difficulty. So the higher the rating for this one, the less difficult, and the lower the rating, the more difficult. Distance to a trailer. So a higher rating means like it's pretty close to a trailer and convenient. And then lastly, we will consider the obstacles in the championship on level of annoyingness. The championship that gets the highest ranking, the highest number, is going to be highest rated, and the champ that gets the lowest is obviously going to be the lowest rated, and there are 10 champs as far as I know. Okay, so let's start with the first champ. The first champ is Silverglade Village champ. This champ was added in Star Stable on June 10th, 2015. The amenities that it has a storage. I think all of the champs have a storage now, and a mailbox. For the amenities available, we're gonna give this champ, it's a 5. It's not the best, not the worst. For scenery, it's not like the most beautiful, but it's in a very nostalgic area of the game. I'm gonna give it a solid 8. We're doing out of 10, by the way. Yeah, an 8 out of 10. It's pretty. I enjoy the scenery. Maybe a 7. It's not the most beautiful thing, and it's a little bit cluttered, so we're gonna say 7. Difficulty. The Silverglade champ, out of all of the champs, is not the most difficult to do. It's pretty easy. There's a couple parts, like the part where you have to squeeze between the wall and the tree by the castle. That part's hard for me. And jumping over the cows is kind of difficult. We're gonna give it a difficulty of like 5. I feel like it's a very beginner level race. It's not that hard. Distance to a trailer. Considering other championships distance to a trailer, Silverglade Village champ is a little bit further from a trailer. I think the closest trailer might be either it's the Silverglade Village trailer, which is a little bit far. When you need a trailer to a champ and the champ starts in 1 minute, you need it to be freaking close to a trailer. You know what I mean? This is a champ that I've missed multiple times because it's a little too far from a trailer, and it's a little bit confusing how to get there. When you get off the trailer, you're a little disoriented. I'm still confused whenever I'm in Silverglade Village. We're gonna give distance to a trailer, we're gonna say 6. It's a little bit close to a trailer, but 4 points off for annoyingness. For obstacles, so the obstacles in this race are the cows, and I just put jumps, and also overall clutter. This champ is pretty cluttered, especially towards like the second half of the champ. There's just a ton of crap on the ground that you can run into, and like invisible barriers, which piss me off. So for obstacles, we're actually gonna give this a 4. It is kind of annoying. It's a little bit annoying with the clutter, so I'm gonna give it a 4. Okay, so that gives us, for Silverglade Village champ, that gives us a total of 27 points. So we're just gonna put Silverglade Village champ right smack in the middle, and we'll see how it compares to other future champs. Okay, the next champ we're gonna be looking at is the Baroness Racetrack champ. So the Baroness Racetrack champ was added on May 11, 2022. It's, I think, the most recent champ added to Star Stable. It has a lot of amenities. It has a storage, the vet, it has also role-playing stalls. So as far as champs go, I'm gonna give it a 9. It has a lot. You know, compared to other champs, I'm gonna give it a 10. I think it has the most amenities of any champ, so we're gonna give it a solid 10 for that. Okay, for scenery, I wouldn't call this champ the ugliest champ, and I wouldn't call it the prettiest champ. Like, aesthetically, it's very aesthetic and pleasing and nice. I guess when you get up in the mountains, you have like a nice view of Silverglade and the racetrack, so I'd say it has a similar, maybe a little bit better view than Silverglade Village, so let's give it an 8. Okay, for difficulty, this champ is pretty difficult. I'm not gonna lie. The obstacles include slippery oil and the moving cranes, and it also has a lot of log jumps and some invisible barriers that piss me off in this champ. I think this champ is pretty difficult. I'm gonna give it a 7 for difficulty. It's a little bit difficult. Okay, and then for the obstacles, because they're upsetting, I'm gonna give it 3. They're upsetting. Distance to a trailer, It's very close to a trailer. It is annoying having to jump through the whole racetrack, and sometimes I have missed this champ because it's close, but not that close. It could be closer. So I'm gonna give it a 7. So in total, that brings us to a score of 35. Okay, so Baroness takes the lead. If you want to check my math on this too, feel free, but I'm doing my best here. Okay, the next champ we're gonna be going over is the Fir Grove champ. Fir Grove champ was added to Instar Stable on March 27th, 2013. That's a freaking long time ago. The only amenity in Fir Grove champ is storage. So for amenities, it's just gonna get a score of like 3. It gives the bare minimum. It's nothing too special. Okay, scenery. The scenery is really pretty. I love the forest vibes and like the woodsiness of Fir Grove in general. Even though it's not an updated area, it's not upsetting on the eyes. I'm gonna give it an 8. For difficulty level, I would say this is a really easy champ. These are obviously my opinions. Like if you find one champ really hard and one champ easy, then you disagree with me, that's fine. This is my rating, so you can make your own. For difficulty, I'm gonna give it an 8. It's not that difficult. Distance to a trailer, it's gotta be similar to Baroness. It's close to a trailer, pretty close, but not that close, so we'll give it a 7. There is that barrier that you can run into, like when you're getting on the Fir Grove trailer and you have to like turn around and then like go around that loop and then go down the hill. There's a lot of things you can hit on the way to the champ, which can make or break a 30-second countdown timer for you when you're trying to make it to a champ. So I'm gonna actually make the distance to a trailer is gonna be 6. I'm gonna remove a point because it's got a lot of obstacles in the way that could make or break you making that champ. For obstacles, so some of the obstacles I included are logs falling down the hill and some falling trees. The falling trees are really easy, and the logs falling down the hill, if you just know where to go, it's pretty straightforward. For obstacles, we're gonna give it an 8. Okay, that gives Fir Grove a total of 33 points. So it's gonna take the place of Silverglade. So right now we have Baroness in the lead. Fir Grove is close second and Silverglade Village is after that. The next champ we're gonna talk about is the Moorland champ. This is a classic, OGs. It was added on November 21st, 2012. It was probably the first champ to be added in the game, honestly. It was updated recently on February 15th, 2023. And I think that the updated champ areas, there's just no contest. They are superior. You know what I mean? This one also has an NPC dedicated to the champ who is Tamika. Don't know how to say her name, but just pretty cool. That adds some points. And then amenities, this champ has a vet, a horse trainer, which I don't believe in horse trainers. I think it's more fun to train your horse by riding it, but whatever. It's like using cheat codes basically. There is a storage, and then there are 3 shops, and there's a quest with Agnes to get XP, horse XP. So I would say for amenities, Moorland is gonna get 10 points because it has the most amenities of any of the champs, I think. Okay, for scenery, Moorland isn't my favorite. I'm gonna give it a 5. It's okay. I think part of it is that Moorland is like a starter area, and the starter area is always the least exciting to me. It's a 5. I mean, it's not the prettiest champ, but it's not the ugliest one either. The difficulty, I'd say I always get stuck on this champ. There are some invisible walls, and there are some really annoying places that make you take a dangerous fall that are not really a dangerous fall. So I'm gonna give it a little bit difficulty. We're gonna give it a difficulty of an 8. It's similar to Silverglade Village. And then distance to a trailer. So Moorland is very close to the championship. It's a straight shot to go to the champ. We're just gonna give them a 9 points for that. I mean, it's like a straight shot. I mean, it has to be 10. It's the most points for closeness to a trailer. Okay, for obstacles, the mud and the jumps, there is piles of mud. There are those weird pink fog things. There are lots of jumps and hay bales, which are super annoying. I'm gonna say for obstacles, those obstacles in particular really piss me off. We're gonna give it a 3. The obstacles really annoy me in the Moorland champ, and I always end up crashing at the very end for this one. So personally, I'm gonna give it a 3 for that. All right, that gives Moorland a total of 36 points. So Moorland takes the lead. This is interesting. Moorland appears to be superior so far. Okay, the next champ we're gonna be talking about is the Fort Pinta champ. The Fort Pinta champ was added on May 29th, 2013. So I think it would have been the second champ to be added. It seems that way. It was updated recently on February 22nd, 2023. And there are 3 NPCs. There's Harriet, Larry, and Perry, their parrot, who are dedicated to this champ. It also has similar amenities to Moorland. It has 2 shops and a mailbox, and it has a vet and storage. The shops being at the champs is very nice because I use it to sell things, and it's just convenient to have a shop. So I am also gonna give this, we'll give it a 9. It has a lot of amenities. Okay, for scenery, the Fort Pinta champ I find to be pretty ugly. I'm not gonna lie. I do like the pirate theme, so I'm gonna give it plus points for that, but scenery for me is about a 4. It's not that pretty. I don't like Fort Pinta very much. It's one of my least favorite areas in the game, and I would love to see it be updated a little bit more, but that's just my personal opinion. Okay, for difficulty, we're gonna give it a difficulty of 6. Distance to a trailer. Oh, this one has its own dedicated trailer, the Fort Pinta Beach. All you have to do is a little U-turn, so we're gonna give it a 9. It's pretty close to a trailer and easy to reach. And then for obstacles, so we have nets. Those are really annoying too, because sometimes if you don't land in just the right spot, it just like flings you in the air. We also have speed boosts, which can either really help you or they can curse you by flinging you into the middle of nowhere and taking a dangerous fall. That's upsetting. It also has a bunch of jumps and a bridge and slippery water. So actually there are quite a lot of obstacles. We're gonna give it a 3 for all the obstacles. Maybe a 2 because it's a little worse than Moorland. Fort Pinta gets a total of 30 points. So that puts it in ahead of Silverglade Village Champ and just behind Fir Grove. Okay, so we're gonna put it right in there. So this is what our tier list is looking like so far. All right, our next champ that we're gonna be reviewing, and I think that honestly, realistically, this is my least favorite champ, but we're gonna have to use the fair rating system to decide. So the Silversong Pony champ was added on May 14th, 2014. It was also updated on March 1st, 2023. Its dedicated NPC is Charles. I literally have never looked at Charles a single time in my life, except for I guess when I've done this champ, but I could not think of what he looks like. The amenities at Silversong Pony champ, I forgot to write them down, but there's like 2 shops, storage, I don't know what else there is, honestly. It's pretty standard to the rest of new champ areas, so we're just gonna give it a solid 8. We're gonna give it an 8. For scenery, I don't like this one. I'm gonna give it 3 points. It's okay. It's just okay. I don't like the area that the Silversong Pony champ is. It's like in an area that I hate riding, which is the area from Moorland to Fort Pinta. I'm still a little bit scarred from when we used to not be able to trailer as a not-star rider, and I had to run between Moorland and Fort Pinta like 80 times for quests, and I just can't do it anymore. So whenever I do the pony champ, it's not the prettiest. It's a 3. Difficulty, the pony champ is not that hard. It's an 8. Distance to a trailer, and the fact that you need to change horses for this champ because nobody be riding a pony in Star Stable. It's just not typical. I'm gonna give it a score of 3. It is upsetting. You have to change horses and then you have to take the trailer, which is kind of far away. So you know what? I'm actually gonna give it a 2. Nah, it's the worst. We're gonna give it a 1. It's a 1. You have to change horses. That takes forever. Okay, for obstacles, we have kids. We have sheep and a wagon and jumps and all kinds of things running at you. We have hot air balloons, all kinds of random crap flying in the air. We're gonna give it a 4 for obstacles. It's really upsetting. The total score for Silversong Pony champ is 24. I think that brings it to the lowest score of the day. We only have a few champs left to review. We're gonna do the Golden Hills Valley champ. The Golden Hills Valley Championship was added on February 27th, 2013. The only amenity is storage, so it gets a solid 3. The scenery, I love Golden Hills Valley because it's so different from the other champs. I'm gonna give it a 7. It's cool. I like this area. It's not the prettiest part of the area though. A lot of it is on the road, so it's gonna get about a 7. For difficulty, the first part of this champ is really hard, especially that part where you like have to jump over the pumpkins and then the jump and then just hit the fence at the right spot and do a U-turn, if you know what I'm talking about. There are like sequences that if you don't know what's coming, you're gonna fail this race. So I'm gonna, for difficulty, actually give it a 3. It's pretty hard. Distance to a trailer, it's pretty close. It's pretty close to a trailer. Probably, it's not a straight shot, but it's like Fir Grove, so we're gonna give it a 6, maybe a 7. This one is not that far from a trailer. We're gonna give it a 7. Okay, for obstacles, it has those spooky obstacles and fishermen, and then like planned setups that are like purposely in your way to annoy you. A 4. It's similar to the pony champ. It's not easy, but whatever. Okay, so let's see. The total score for Golden Hills Valley is 24. Wow, okay, so this champ is just as low. I'm really surprised by that. It's just as low as the pony champ. They're like tied for lowness, and I'm gonna put it above the pony champ because I like this one better. We'll cheat a little bit. Okay, the next champ we're gonna talk about is Jorvik Stables. So this champ was added on November 20th, 2013, and it was updated on April 9th, 2025. The dedicated NPC for this champ is Tina, and then for amenities, it has storage, a vet, a mailbox, and 2 shops. For Fort Pinta, what has similar things, I give it a 9, so we're gonna give it a 9. For amenities. Okay, and then for scenery, the Jorvik Stables champ I hate, and since they updated it, I hate it even more. We're gonna give it a 3. It's not that pretty. I don't like it. The difficulty is, it's not even that it's that hard, it's just a really long champ, and there are like a lot of obstacles and difficulties. I'm gonna give it like a 3. It's pretty difficult. Distance to a trailer, this one is really close. We're gonna give it a 9. It's super close. You just get off the trailer and you turn right. It's so close. We're gonna give it a 9. For obstacles, we have cheese. That's new. We also have just like that U-turn part with the staircase at the end of the champ. That's so annoying. There's also like a bunch of fences and you have to go uphill, and there's like a divot in the grass that you can get stuck in. That's annoying. And there's running horses and it's annoying. We're gonna do for obstacles, it gets a 4. It's an obnoxious champ. I don't like this one that much. I always crash at this one. Okay, so the Jorvik Stables champ gets a total score of 28. It's right ahead of Silverglade Village champ, so we're just gonna move things around. Okay, we only have a few more champs to review. For Valedale, the Valedale champ was added on May 1st, 2013, and it was updated on March 6th, 2024. The dedicated NPC is Rory, and this champ has, for amenities, it has 2 shops, a storage, and a vet. So we're gonna give it like an 8. For scenery, I would actually consider this champ to be one of the prettiest champs. I think Valedale is, I mean, it's the most updated area and it's very pretty. The scenery is a 10. It's like a Disneyland ride, especially thinking about when I first did this champ. I was like, this champ is beautiful. It is pretty. It's really pretty. It's annoying, but it's pretty. So we're gonna give it a 10. Difficulty. This champ is really hard. Baroness champ was a 3. I think this one is a 2. It's very difficult. Distance to trailer, it's kind of a trek. You have to get off the trailer and then run down through the gardening area, make it through the water, you always turn the wrong way first, I do. We're gonna give it a 3. It's not that close to a trailer. The obstacles include deer, falling trees, rocks, which for some reason are more annoying to jump than regular jumps. The deer themselves make me upset. We're gonna give the obstacles like a 2. But again, there aren't that many obstacles. It's actually not that hard. Maybe we'll give obstacles a 4. Okay, does my score even make sense? So this champ ended up getting 27 points. That's interesting. So it's right behind Jorvik Stables. All right, and again, like I said, this is a very official rating scale, so if you disagree, you're wrong. That was a joke. I disagree with this rating scale. I personally would move stuff around. So the new Hillcrest Championship was added on September 14th, 2016. The amenities include storage, so it gets a 3 for that. The scenery is, I like the wheat field, but the rest of it, I really don't like the area with like the fog and stuff. I just don't find it that pretty. I don't like New Hillcrest that much, so we're gonna give it a 3 for scenery. For difficulty, it's quite difficult. It's, I'd say, a little bit easier than Valedale, so maybe a 3. There are moving targets, there are moving cars to hit you. The end of the champ, like right before you hit the finish line, there's like a row of fences that are in your way. Like it's like an obstacle and you're like, what the frick am I supposed to do here? That part always bothers me. It's like a maze. That champ, if you survive it without hitting something, you're insane. We're gonna actually give it a 2. Distance to trailer, this one is so far from a trailer. It is like a 2 minutes gallop from the trailer. I sometimes don't do this champ because I don't want to run that far. I'm lazy as frick. Okay, for distance to a trailer, we're gonna give it a 2. Like it's pretty far away. The obstacles include a random man, tumbleweeds, cars, annoying fences, and a variety of other objects. Clutter. It's also like the bridges don't line up super great. Yeah, it's just not great. So for obstacles, we're gonna give it like a 3. They're pretty annoying obstacles. Okay, so the total score for New Hillcrest was 13. Ooh, dang. Okay, this is really bad. This is actually terrible. I don't like doing this champ. So New Hillcrest takes the bottom. What's crazy to me looking at these scores, I'm actually looking now at like what got ranked. So right now we have Moorland as the top, and we have Baroness as second place, then Firgrove, Fort Pinta, Silverglade Village, Jorvik Stables, Valedale, Golden Hills Valley, Silver Song Pony, and New Hillcrest. I don't even necessarily agree with any of these. So now we're just gonna look at the champs and decide based on how much I like the champ, I'm gonna move them around. Okay, so I don't think Moorland is the best champ. I really don't. I think that I'm gonna move Moorland below Baroness because I just like Baroness better. For Pinta and Silverglade Village, I would rather do the Silverglade Village champ. So we're gonna move that. Jorvik Stables, yeah, that's about right. I'm gonna say the Silver Song Pony champ is gonna go below New Hillcrest. Yeah, that's about right. I did some adjusting. Okay, so for based on my personal opinion plus my very official rating system that is absolutely correct, no questions asked, we have in first place, our favorite champ is Baroness Racetrack. In second place, we have the Moorland Championship. In third place is Firgrove. Fourth place is Silverglade Village. Fifth place is Fort Pinta. Sixth place is Jorvik Stables. Seventh is Valedale. Eighth place is Golden Hills Valley. Ninth place is New Hillcrest, and last is the Pony Champ. So yeah, that is my very official ratings. Also, feel free to list your tier rankings below in a comment. Maybe put your 1 through 10 and put what ones you think are the best through worst. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this rating style video. My opinion could change on this tomorrow, so don't take it too seriously, but this was fun. I enjoyed critically thinking about all the championships. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye.
I'm on thin ice, you'd never guess. I've been hiding a monster, keeping it quiet.